Hello everyone, what is going on? In today's video, I'm going to be giving out a couple of tips and tricks that I use when I am studying or taking notes in class. So why should you listen to me? Well, basically, I finished my first year at Ohio State with a 4.0, so I may know a thing or two about taking notes and how to best set yourself up for studying and taking tests and all that good stuff for college. So whether you are an incoming freshman as a recently graduated high school senior, or whether you're in your last year, stick around for this video and you might be able to learn a couple things on how to take better notes. So the first thing that a lot of people like to try to decide is, what do you take notes with? Do you choose like pen and paper? Do you choose an iPad? Or do you choose a laptop? And my answer is all three. If I can, I will 100% take notes on my iPad. If not, I will resort to a laptop, and if I cannot do either, I will take notes with a pen and paper, because let's say that the class is using guided notes, well then you gotta use the good old pen and paper. So I always have a pencil or a pen with me at all times, but I always make sure that my iPad and my MacBook Pro is always charged up and ready to take notes. Over here, I have a MacBook Pro and an iPad Pro. So this iPad Pro was given to me by Ohio State. This is the iPad Pro 2018 10.5 inch in the 256 gigabyte variant, and it comes with their smart keyboard case, the Apple Pencil, and just some generic protector case. And then here, I bought this myself. This is the 2018 MacBook Pro 13 inch with touch bar, with 256 gigabytes of storage and 8 gigabytes of RAM for anyone that is interested in the MacBook Pros. So I bought both because I realized I needed both. I tried to go the first week or so at Ohio State with just my iPad and with just a notebook and a pen and pencil, but could not do it for one main reason. In my math class, we used a certain program, can't think of it off the top of my head. So because of that, I needed a laptop, or I needed to go to the computer labs just to study, and I'm not a big fan of studying there. So because of that, for whatever reason, I decided to buy an expensive MacBook Pro. So that is why I decided to buy a laptop. Do you need to buy an expensive MacBook Pro? Heck no. But did I buy it because I am an Apple sheep and I love tech gear? Yes. But really though, in all seriousness, the reason why I did buy a MacBook in general is because of AirDrop. It is so convenient being able to send documents to and from my iPad and my MacBook Pro. If I need to just send myself a Word doc or a PowerPoint or just a picture or anything, I can go ahead and send it to and from each other using AirDrop, and it sends it uncompressed and sends it so conveniently and easily. And also just in general, these two are so light in my backpack. Like if I don't have my camera or my tripod in my backpack, this just makes it so light rather than having expensive textbooks and a ton of other typical college stuff that you would have maybe 10 to 15 years ago. So it's very convenient to also be able to download your e-textbook on your MacBook Pro or on your iPad Pro. So basically what I'm trying to get at is try to figure out what you need your first week. And if you can get by with an iPad, do it. And if you can get by with a MacBook or a laptop, then do it. But if you need both, you need both. So with the iPad Pro, I want to show you guys the most useful app ever. Like someone suggested it to me during orientation, and I just want to thank whoever suggested that to me, because it has been a serious and amazing lifesaver for my college note-taking career lifestyle. So I'm actually gonna go ahead and skip on over to this iPad and walk you through what I do when taking notes on my iPad. So now that we are on my iPad, I wanna go ahead and just show you the best app for taking notes. So we're here on my home screen, and if you look towards the bottom, you'll see a blue app with a pencil. This app is called Notability, and the best way to describe this is it's just a giant digital notebook. So over here you have all notes, your most recent notes, any unfiled notes, which is actually the way I labeled it, and then here are all my recent course codes. And you can just go here to the plus and you can create your own subject. So if I just wanted to say test and press save, and boom, I now have a new subject. And if you go back to all notes, for example, you can organize it by name, modified date, or created date. So let's just go ahead and go into the test, and we'll go ahead and press the top right button to get into this. So you can label your notes any way you want it. So let's just say test was a class. So I'll say test, lecture, and we'll do 727. So now it is labeled. and I like to organize it by the created dates. That way it works best for me. So this is basically just a giant sheet of paper. So let's say I have the keyboard put in, I can connect my keyboard and just start typing my notes. And then if I need to use my Apple Pencil or a writing utensil, I can just take notes like that. So it's very cool how you can switch between typing or writing. And then let's say you need to highlight something because it's very important, then boom, it's highlighted. And for both of these, and even the eraser will erase whatever is created with one single stroke. So if I tap this, it deletes the whole thing. And if you need to redo it because you messed up, you got a redo button right there. So with all these, you can just tap it again and you can change your colors, you can change your strokes, and there's just a ton of flexibility. And with the eraser, you can also change the size or you can make it partial. And then with the scissors, you can do this and you can press copy, and then you can go down here to paste, and it's all good. And over here, this mouse just lets you go through the page without messing up your own writing. If you also want to create an audio note for yourself, you can press this mic to the right of all that stuff. And so you might be saying like, all right, but it's kind of like weird or it's kind of like off-putting just to have a blank screen, and I understand that. So you can go to the wrench and you can go to paper and you can actually change your paper. So if you wanted it to be a different color, then you got that going. And then you can change the height of your line. So you can go something very small if you're a small writer, or if you write big, then you got this. Personally, I like to use this. I can just create my notes and I can go, and then with my finger, I can just scroll. And so some other cool things about this is that you can add a ton of stuff. So if you have your own photos, you can implement your own photos. So if I wanted to go here, take a photo, boom. So let's say you're in the lecture class and you take a picture of whatever slide is going up. You can go ahead and go there, let it go, and then change the color. And then now I am taking notes over it. Or if you already have a photo you know you want to add, you can just go here. Let's just go to my computer, and then you can throw in your own photo. So it's very cool and convenient. You can also add GIFs and web clips and stickies for whatever reason. I never really did that, but if that's your style, then hey, do what you need to do to get that A. But along with that, it just has a very cool sharing system. So it can receive files from almost anything, whether it's a PowerPoint or a doc or a PDF, whatever the case may be. And you can just share it to a ton of cool other apps. So if I want to do send to, you can change the format to a couple other options. I just keep it on PDF because it's pretty universal. You can press share note and you can share it to my MacBook, which like I said is incredibly convenient. If I need to send myself a written PowerPoint, like let's say I downloaded a PowerPoint, wrote notes on it, which I'll show you in a quick second, I can send it to my MacBook so that way I can see it in a bigger view. And then you can send it through text, through mail, through the Adobe apps, anywhere. You can really send it to just anything. And you can also save it to your files. So you can send and receive files through Notability with great ease. And so let's just go back to what I was saying earlier. So let's say I'm in the test. And so this is the Carmen app. This is where I do most of my Ohio State stuff. I know I took a chemistry class last semester and there was a ton of notes. So if I go here to files and I go to lecture, this is really what I did. So I would go to today's lecture and then I would share it. And then it would ask me to share where? Notability. It's very convenient, like I said. So I'll press done, then I'll go to Notability, and then it'll say, here, you got something. You can import it, press done, and now I have the whole PowerPoint and I can take notes as it's going on. So let's just say I need to make a note about this because the professor said something, and then there we go. If there's something very important I need to write for myself, I can take a note by highlighting it, and basically I'm just free to do whatever I want compared to going to PowerPoint on a computer and having to write notes in that little tiny bar at the bottom. I can just write my notes on the PowerPoint and it just gives me so much flexibility and freedom. Like, it is insane. That is really the huge gist of Notability, and I'm not sponsored at all. You know, why would I be sponsored? But I just wanted to show that this is a great way to take notes. And it just, if I need to, like I said, let's say I just finished taking these notes and I want to look at them on my computer, I can press share notes and my AirDrop should pop up, and then boom, send it to myself. And it goes the same way. Like, let's say I do have a PowerPoint that I ended up creating on my own and I want to have it on my iPad for whatever reason, I can send it from my MacBook to my iPad. So being able to switch between the two is just insane, and it's super awesome and incredibly easy. All right, so that brings me to the end of this video on how to best take notes in college. And just to summarize, so I would prefer to take notes on my iPad Pro. I have a smart keyboard if I need to type, and I have an Apple Pencil in case I need to write, but I take almost all of my notes on Notability when I can, and almost always. And if I can't, if I need to do it on a PowerPoint, I'll just do it on my MacBook Pro. Or if I need to write an essay, I do prefer having a laptop with an actual keyboard and having the full version of Mac OS to be able to run certain programs, because the iPad Pros only use iOS. Now that's different with the newer iPads, but that's just something that's going on in the future. But in other words, like I said, you can run more programs with a laptop. So that's why I recommend having a laptop. But I really also recommend getting some sort of tablets. That way you can type your notes and you can write your notes. So it's just super convenient. And I know it's a very expensive setup, but if a few $1,000s, a couple thousand, I know this just sounds like very weird to say, but if a couple $1,000s gets you through 4 years of schooling, and if it makes it a lot easier for you, then just invest in yourself and invest in taking better notes. That way you can be better in class, and that way you can set yourself up for success. Plus, when you have a nice little iPad or MacBook Pro, you can still watch Netflix and YouTube on it. So you can still find ways to use it non-academically and get your money's worth. So I hope this video was useful, and I hope you guys learned something. And if you do have any questions, if I was too fast or if I brushed over something, please feel free to drop it down in the comment section below. I've never missed a lecture at all last year, and I don't intend on doing it this year either. So I do know a couple things about taking notes, and I do know a couple things about how to take notes. So, if you guys just need any advice or any questions or tips on how to take better notes or how to do anything in college, just feel free to drop it down, and I'll do my best to answer all of that. But hopefully you did learn something about taking notes and about Notability and about what device or platform or medium to use. And so, yeah, that's it. I don't really have a good closer. So if you enjoyed this video, please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.